invite Mr. Khalid Taimur Akram, Executive Director, Pakistan Research Center for a Community with Shared Future, on stage to share his stance on understanding sustainable development in China, reforms in poverty alleviation policies.
Thank you very much. Before I go into the details of my particular topic, I would just like to add what Dr. Fawzia and Dr. Akram has said about the Community of Shared Future. So I represent here China Communication University. This university is in Beijing, and this university is basically interested by the Chinese government on the concept of Community of Shared Future. And there are a few things. Interestingly, the four people sitting on the stage are also the pioneers of the Center of Community of Shared Future in Pakistan, not only in Pakistan but in the world also. These centers were established in almost 100 countries in October 2020, and that time unfortunately we had the peak of the COVID, so most of our interactions were online. And I'm very happy and pleased to tell you people that Dr. Akram Khalid is probably the first professor in complete world that she was the first one to deliver her lectures online to students sitting in Tanzania. And so this Community of Shared Future concept, basically we started off, the Chinese government started off in October 2020, and again one of our teachers who had been teaching students in various countries, Dr. Kutsia, is also sitting over here from Kannate College. Kutsia, thank you. So she is the one also, she had been delivering the lectures. So then it was with the help of Punjab University, we decided to establish this Regional Integration Center, and this center is HEC approved center with Dr. Fawzia as its director. Since last 2 years, although the COVID was still surging, but the Department of History, Department of Political Science and Regional Integration Center had been meeting with lots of people, and hopefully now that the COVID is over, so in 2023 and 2024, you will be able to actually see the practical manifestation of this concept of Community of Shared Future. Just to give you a few examples, that Regional Integration Center is now already in touch with universities in Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan and other regional countries. Department of History is in touch with various universities. Department of Political Science is in touch with various universities, and of course the main credit of establishing this center goes to Dr. Salim Mazhar, who was very instrumental as pro-VC for establishment of this center. So all I wanted to say you is this, that please remain in touch with Dr. Akram, Professor Fawzia, and History Department, Dr. Mehboob. So we will be offering many things very, very soon. Tomorrow, the Turkish ambassador is coming to Punjab University, and very soon you will find lots of things happening with Turkey also. So this is the practical manifestation of the Community of Shared Future concept, in which Punjab University, being the oldest university and as a mother university, not only in the Pakistan but in the region, has proved to be the best, and even the Chinese government recognizes their effort for enhancing this concept of Community of Shared Future. Now coming over to my concept, my today's speech topic, that is understanding sustainable development in China, reforms and poverty alleviation policies. In October 2022, the Chinese government announced that they had eradicated poverty to the fullest, and many people thought that how can they do it in 1 year or 2 years? So it is not 1 year or 2 years process. They have been doing it. They have been working on poverty eradication since 1978. The first time they talked about the poverty alleviation was in December 1978 during the third plenary session of the 11th CPC Central Committee, in which they decided that how to uplift the standard of living of people. And then they reviewed the policy again in 2012. Once President Xi Jinping was the General Secretary, he became the President, and after that they reviewed it. And in 2021, 25th February, the Chinese government announced that they are very near to uplift almost 96% of the people living in China. So what did they do for various actions which they did for poverty alleviation? Was enhancing the weak infrastructure. They had inadequate services in the villages, so they were enhanced. The social economic underdeveloped areas were enhanced, and in the final stages, the rural urban disparity they tried to do away with that, and almost 50+% of the rural areas, they declared it as urban centers also. The infrastructure was improved. The transport access is now to almost 100% areas of the China. Drinking water, communication hindrances which were there previously, now there are no more there, and they are available everywhere. They have established almost 35,000 kilometers of new railways. Now every town, even a small village of China, is connected through the rail and road network. As I said, that they worked a lot on the water infrastructure in the rural areas since 2016. The effective irrigated area has increased by more than 5.35 million hectares, and water supply capacity has been increased by 18 billion cubic in all over China. Electricity access in the poor areas has been improved through power grid construction projects, such as power supplies to the areas which were previously without electricity. And right now there is no area in complete China which is without electricity. Communication infrastructure, as I told you, is improved, and now over 98% of the poor villages have the access to the optical fiber communication and 4G technology. Distant education learning program has been introduced in more and more schools, and almost every school in China has a IT center in it. Since 2013, China has renovated more than 1,000,000 schools to strengthen the provision of compulsory education in the poor areas, and ensured that all 8 school rural children, they receive kindergarten and elementary education within their own villages, and also free of cost. Public cultural services have been improved, and now 99.5% of the villages in China, they have their own cultural centers, they have their own community centers, and they have their own community livings. China adheres to the fundamental national policy for gender equality and sees women as key target in poverty alleviation. Among nearly 100 million who have been taken off from the poverty, women account for the half of it. So China has practically shown to the world that poverty cannot be uplifted in 1 or 2 days, so it has to be a very comprehensive plan, and it has to be a continuous process. It cannot be done in just 1 or 2 or 3 years. So there are lots of lessons to be learned from the Chinese model, and hopefully we will try that. We will organize the next workshop on all the areas of how did they have practically done it. Thank you very much.